That's all you, man.
Live from Memphis, Tennessee at the home of the Grizzlies, we're broadcasting from the FedEx Forum. And now we take a brief check at the matchups. Our starting five for both teams. One of the guys we'll be watching out for today, Greg Monroe.
Well, Monroe is one of the more promising young big men that we have in the league, Kevin, because of his offensive skill set. He can really pass from the high post. He can go down to the low block and score. He's got that strong left hand. So he's a guy who I think could be a cornerstone for this club for a long time.
I agree with you. I love his game. He's not the most athletic player, but you don't have to be always super athletic to be outstanding as a basketball player. There's more to the game than running and jumping and bouncing and highlight reel. He's able to use his body and create size and space to get his shot off, and his head is really well schooled in the game.
For the Memphis Grizzlies, they won their last contest, that game against the Spurs in San Antonio.
And if you look at their numbers in that game,
back to West. Nice ball movement by Detroit. And it's Smith penetrating. West outside. West off the pick from Smith. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. And Steve and Clark, what do you make of his comments to the media after their last game?
You know, playing in your first game is an eye-opening experience, to say the least. I mean, everything moves 100% faster than anything you've been part of before. College and preseason help you prepare, but there's no substitute for the real thing.
No question, Clark. I remember going from preseason to the regular season was such a jump in intensity. It really startled me. I mean, preseason's pretty simple, pretty easy. All of a sudden, the regular season starts and everybody's going, as you said, 100% faster.
And so he makes both from the line.
Detroit really is one of the younger teams in the league as far as their core and future are concerned. It's always nice to kind of think, what might they become going forward? But they are going to struggle at times, especially on the road.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Hey, Kevin, I had a chance to talk with head coach of the Grizzlies.
He said that one of the players are keying in on defensively is Rodney Stuckey, adding he loves to use his size and his strength to play bully ball inside and get himself to the line. We've got to be physical with him without fouling. Guys, that'll take discipline. We'll see if they can strike the right balance on defense.
And thanks for that story, Doris. Pistons did have big problems getting wins on the road, and that is one of the reasons why the fans were a bit frustrated with how the team developed over the course of last year. Steve, they just couldn't finish off games when they were the road team.
Yeah, that's right, Kevin. Just 11-30 away from the Palace. And, you know, when you're a young team, it takes a lot of mental toughness and growth to be able to close out games on the road. It's something they're still learning.
Jennings passes to West. 6 on the shot clock. For 3, Smith. It's rebounded by Memphis. Allen's got his 3rd rebound on the night. And this is their first time matched up with the Pistons this year.
Last season, they had a very easy time with this club. And, of course, being East versus West, they only got to face them twice. But I'm sure they wish they had them on the schedule more often.
Steve was talking before we got into that little segment there about playing them more, and it was 2 games last year, 2 wins. It's probably a safe assumption they've got a lot of confidence heading into this first meeting, Clark, this year.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, they appear to be at opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of talent. But nothing's ever a sure thing, Kevin. That's why we play the game.
I like that. Good. West with the ball. Now defended by Bayless. West kicks to Bynum. And the turnover. Could not get off a shot. The first-second violation.
Kevin, a chance here to check out how the Grizzlies ranked in the NBA last season. 4th in steals. 5th in fewest turnovers per game. And they were top 10 in free throw percentage. That's always helpful in winning games.
Still, I think the key to their team was the steals that you talked about, because they were a team that put a lot of pressure on the offense. They got out and played the passing lane, tried to force turnovers, and when they did, they usually converted those into points at the other end, and that's one of the reasons they were pretty good.
And you look at Ed Davis out of North Carolina. We know he can be a factor with his defense and his rebounding. I think the question with Davis is, can he be good enough offensively? Will he be able to provide scoring inside?
Davis with a screen on Bynum. A shot's good from Bayless. It's a tie ball game.
That finish brings me back to the old days, the silky smooth finger roll.
Bynum kicks to Uretko. Outside, Billups feeds it to Bynum. And it's blocked. But they get it back. Drummond dishes to West. Drummond sets the screen for West. Swiped it away. An even 3-on-3 break. Kicks to Pondexter. He feeds it to Davis. Miller outside. Davis, the pass to Miller. Bayless. That's in, coming off an assist from Miller. And the Grizzlies lead by 2. Well, going back to Ed Davis, he just started playing consistent minutes, Clark, with the Raptors when the trade occurred, moving him to Memphis.
Yeah, but you talk about his offensive development, Kevin, playing alongside, other skilled front court players that they've got there. I think he can get better and improve, and really it's a nice fit. Their bulk and skill and his length and shot blocking, that could be a nice combo.
Miller kicks to Bayless. Back to Miller. Now the dish to Bayless. Bangs home the trifecta. Bayless has got his 3rd bucket of the night.
You can't leave him alone, especially from long range.
Billups off the pick from West. Left side, West. He kicks to Bynum. Back to West. West off the pick from Drummond. West dishes to Billups. And right away, they match it with a 3-pointer of their own. Billups has got 5.
Right back at you. They immediately get those 3 points back.
Trading punches, that's how you answer.
Miller kicks to Davis. Working on Uretko. 6 feet out. And the shot is good. We've got 22 seconds left here in the first quarter. Outside, Billups. Left side, West. Drummond sets the screen for West. He got it up in time, but it wouldn't fall for him. At the end of one, a closely contested game so far. It's the Grizzlies. They lead by a bucket. Live from the FedEx Forum, you're watching 2K Sports.
Nothing like NBA action. So come out to a Pistons game and enjoy the show. Pick up your tickets today to see Jay taking on the best the league has to offer. Come out and welcome our sensational new rookie.
Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And a chance to catch up on some numbers here. The scoring breakdown for the Grizzlies. And Detroit looking at who they've got. West in its small forward. Andre Drummond is out there with Smith. Then there's Jennings. And it's Stuckey in a two-guard. West passes to Drummond. Gets it to go.
He used his strength there to get into the post without much of a fight from the defense.
Yeah, I think they've got to muscle up on him a little more. Do a better job next time in there.
Now here's Conley. He's coming off a 13-point game against the Spurs in San Antonio. And Bayless gets to Conley. Prince, right side. And it's out of bounds. The Grizzlies able to retain possession here. Let's take a look at the players who were the best on the glass a season ago. In fourth, Zach Randolph.
How about the season he had in the paint? Just rebounding numbers were mind-boggling.
Five on the clock. And the Grizzlies get it back. And count it, the shot is good. He'll go to the free throw line.
Oh, they're now +5 in the rebound category, really controlling the glass.
And rebounding is one of those non-glamour stats. I mean, it takes work and effort and tenacity and physicality. But when you look at the scoreboard, you can see the correlation.
And Memphis making a change here. Davis is checked in. Jennings, a screen on Prince. West with the ball. Conley picks him up. West gets to Jennings. And he's going up for the alley-oop. And Drummond throws it down.
Really hard to decide, guys, which was better. The pass, the catch, or the slam.
Clark, there's no wrong answer to that one, my friend. Sensational alley-oop all the way around.
Agreed.
All of the above.
The pass to Bayless. Three-pointer. Nice defense from Billups.
Not able to find it here in the second. He's off stride and off track just a bit after that one he had earlier.
West kicks to Smith. Smith left side. Outside Jennings. The three. And Davis pulls it down.
The Grizzlies had the second best defense in the league last season after the Indiana Pacers guys. And on the perimeter, they had speed with Conley and Tony Allen inside, size and strength with Marc Gasol, who was the defensive player of the year, and Zach Randolph. And they were tough to score against.
Here's Bayless. And he hits the jump shot. Bayless has got 9 points.
And at the offensive end, he's done about as much as they could have hoped for today.
And the Pistons making a change here. Back to West. West, right side. Jerebko dishes to Monroe. Detroit, no good that time either. And Clark, you mentioned the size inside for the Grizz. They tied for the second best rebound percentage in the league. And Steve, that was a huge area for them.
And on the perimeter, they were in the top 5 in steals, Kevin. So you talk about defense and rebounding and low post scoring. I mean, that's a really good foundation for an excellent team.
Here's Davis. It's blocked by Monroe. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Grizzlies will take it. And here's what the Detroit Pistons schedule looks like. The Celtics will be coming into town for the next game. And that's the first game in a string of 3 straight at home.
And, you know, for the Pacers, that's a game that they would really like to win.
So for the Pistons, their last game, a win against the Washington Wizards.
And you could see it in that game, despite the odds against them. Once it got to OT, they had the belief that they could get it done.
And, Steve, that's what happens a lot of time when the supposed underdog gets the game into overtime. Momentum swings their way.
Pistons trail by 8. Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Hey, Kevin, Jay in that last game against the Wizards made some terrific plays. He picked up 12 points, and that scoring outburst set a new season high for him in what was a great exhibition on his part. A strong statement game from him to open up the season. The kind of game this team is hoping to see consistently.
All right, thanks, Doris. He's got a lot of positives to take away from that game. Clearly, Steve.
Yeah, he played a huge role for them. His contributions are always important, but I thought he was particularly good that night.
Yeah, he was very solid. Just really locked in, engaged, on task. Solid performance tonight. It's a great job getting the ball inside now. I mean, they're intentional.
Prince kicks to Gasol. Dishes to Conley. Allen outside. Back to Conley. Prince outside. Just 5 on the clock. Gasol backing down. Shoots in deep. And that one's good. Gasol's got 9 points now in the quarter.
It was a slow start for him, but he started to take off since we hit the second quarter, guys.
West off the pick from Drummond. West kicks to Smith. Jacks up a 3. The shot's good on the assist by West. West has got his 3rd assist on the night.
That's his first triple of the game. It was a dry first half for him from long range.
5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Prince backing him down. No luck. West with some nice D. Jennings with the ball. He picked up 18 points in the last one against Washington.
And he did some nice work on the boards too, Kevin. That was definitely a factor in that game as well.
Outside Conley. Charity stripe shot. No good, trying to beat the buzzer. And so that brings the first half to a close. Grizzlies lead by 8. Folks, stay tuned for the halftime show at Damon Bruce for all the highlights from our first half.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Welcome to 2K Sports. We're in the early stages of what promises to be another great season in the NBA. At the midway point, the Grizzlies are playing well. And look at all those rejections, erasing easy looks, just making it hard around the rim. A sensational first half from Marc Gasol. The bucket looks about 5 feet wide for him. He hasn't missed one shot. Can you believe it? And on the other hand, the Pistons still alive. They've done a lackluster job boxing out for the defensive rebounds, getting run over inside. Greg Monroe struggling a bit early on. He's trying to make the home run play, and all too often got caught striking out. And that's all we have for you here in the studio. Now let's send it on back to Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke for the second half of play.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And we welcome you back. Glad to have you with us as more basketball is on the way. During the break, the players getting refueled with Gatorade. Look. Pistons trail by 5. We've got Quincy Pondexter. Tayshaun Prince out there with Davis. Then it's Tony Roden. And it's Bayless in at the 1. That's the lineup in the game for Memphis. And guys, let's get your take on the scoring breakdown so far for the Grizzlies.
How about the three-point shooting we're seeing so far, guys? Amazing.
They haven't wasted time getting the ball up the court tonight either, and it's resulted in a lot of fast break points.
Roden with it. And there's the feed to Gasol. Monroe on him. A nice shot by Gasol. Gasol's got 13.
You gotta love the big bucket in the paint in this sort of grinded out physical game.
Yeah, that was your game, Clark. Pound it inside and take the ball right to the defense.
That's what I tried to do, man. I knew my limitations. For the majority of his career, Marc Gasol has been referred to as the other Gasol. But last season, you can make that case that he surpassed his brother Powell in terms of impact on the court.
Gasol, a screen on West. Pondexter. Oh, and it looks like that's going to be a goaltending call. Yep, that's it. So they'll get the basket.
He got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. But that one's going to count.
You know, most players have a favorite spot on the floor. And for him, it's the corner. He loves to let it fly from over there.
You know, there's something about that angle that just suits his eye, Steve. He's extremely comfortable when taking that shot, either side.
Josh Smith, he's checked in for Detroit. West defended by Gasol. It's West with the drive. Stolen by Randolph. It's 3-on-3 on the fast break. Bayless, the second chance effort. And Billups pulls it down.
He's far too tentative in the paint, and even more so when the defender is up tight on him like that time.
West, rejected by Pondexter. Pass to Bayless, and Jay gets the whistle that time. That'll be his second foul of the game. And Mark... 1:46 left in the third quarter. Gets it to go. 9 points for Brandon Jennings.
They're not as aggressive from the outside here, but maybe they should think about stretching the defense a little bit, like they did in the first half. I mean, stretching the defense makes it easier to score inside, too.
Randolph backs in. Bank shot, no good.
He's been wayward and just off on about everything he's put up in this period.
It's West with the drive. It's stolen by Davis. Pass to Conley. The feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful. Conley's got 5 points now in the quarter.
They haven't been as aggressive from outside as they were in the first half. They're playing smart with the lead. I like that. They're being very selective and deliberate in their offense. That's a good strategy when you're on top.
Jennings kicks it to West. Left side, West. Clock at 6. Here's Monroe. The shot's good on the assist by West. West has got his 5th assist in this one. And the Grizzlies leading by 5. Conley, the pass to Allen. Back to Conley. He dishes it to Prince. Nails the baby hook. Prince has got 11.
My, he is so adept at finishing in the low post.
Shot and game clock separated by 5. And Smith with the stuff.
Maybe that'll ignite him. I mean, impossible not to get pumped up after that. At least I think that would be the case.
Well, you can see the immediate reaction of the guys on the bench. They are. Look at them. They are pumped up.
Yeah, they're geek.
That's what those alley-oops do, though.
Outside Conley. Right side Conley. And he threw the blocking foul. He'll go to the line for 2. This is his first free throw of the game. And he knocks down the free throw. And the Pistons making a change here.
James West.
Gasol kicks to Franklin. Memphis moving it around. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. That one on Monroe.
Jamal Franklin out of San Diego State, the only Division I player last season to lead his team in scoring, rebounding, assists, and steals. High motor. He's a guy who can do a lot of things out on the floor.
Tayshaun Prince has checked in for the Grizzlies. And Franklin, one of the all-time great rebounding guards at the college level.
Yeah, an outstanding glass eater for his position. 6'5", almost 10 rebounds a game is what he averaged as a junior, and his athleticism a big part of that. The story there, he lost one of his front teeth on the rim going up for an alley-oop. Now that's bounce and putting your teeth into the rim.
On the court for the Pistons, Josh Smith and Greg Monroe at the 3 and 4. West is out there with Jennings. And it's Drummond at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Kept alive. Jennings with the bucket.
He is pouring it on in the second half, guys. I mean, a much better showing than he had before the break.
Conley kicks to Prince. Working on Smith. West with the ball. Tigers from 14. Hits the bucket.
Looks like they're going to finish strong, but just aren't enough ticks left on the clock.
Well, Steve, it's a good run they're having now, but they just waited too long to have it.
Prince setting a pick for Conley. Pass to Prince. Working on Smith. Leads away. And the rejection by Smith.
And this game is finally getting away from them.
Yep, it has gotten away. There's not really anything they can do now.
It's a 4-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Conley with it. Now Smith defending. It's stolen by West. And a different look here for the Pistons. "15 seconds left in the game. West off the pick from Drummond. The three. Shot, no good.
And no excuses there. Got a really good look at the basket after being freed up by the pick.
We say it all the time. The execution was excellent. The result not as good, but good ball movement anyway.
So no problem for Memphis as they get the win. Some days, Clark, everything goes right for a team, and they just had one of those games.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, these guys played a great all-around basketball game here.
That'll do it for now. For Doris Burke, Steve Curry, Clark Kellogg, and the rest of the 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us.
Not a good game from your team tonight. Is there anything positive you can take from a game with a final score as lopsided as this one?
Well, for one thing, we didn't give up. I thought that even when we were down by a lot, every player out there on the court was still giving everything they had. Some games the ball just doesn't bounce your way, but that's never an excuse to mail it in. And I really don't think we did that at all tonight, which is definitely something to be proud of. If we keep giving that kind of effort, we'll win our share of games. Tonight just wasn't one of them.